You know what? Oop, I almost dropped this thing. I thought it was charged. It's not charged. Anyways, what's going on, everyone? So, how's it going? I think this is what? Let me see the top of it. I was gonna say something like iPhone, whatever. This is a 4S because there's no thing at the top. You get what I mean. So about last week, I submitted my project for the Swift Student Challenge for this year's Worldwide Developers Conference. And just in today's video, I want to kind of explain what I've learned from this whole challenge and what I would hope I want to improve on for next year, because I plan on really partaking in it next year as well. So the number one thing that was just the annoyance part for me. Now, first of all, I read all the rules, okay? So I knew exactly of certain things. I did just feel like once I got to the final product and I was ready to, ship it off right to Apple. And I really want to say is that please do not overwork your projects. What I mean by this is that it's okay to include all these certain things such as Core ML, Vision Kit, Health Kit, any other framework within it, but the real important thing I found from it is that please respect the max size amount for 25 megabytes for this thing. If I did a Wayback Machine for last year's submission to see if they had the same sort of constraint for their projects, or at least qualification or requirement, and it was 25 megabytes. So once it comes to including my object detecting whole machine learning model that I use within Vision Kit and AV Foundation, I got so annoyed when I found out that my file size was, get this, 100 megabytes. It's like I knew about the size of the project having to be, or at least a zip file having to be at least 25 megabytes and lower, but I didn't think it was gonna be like 100. So once it came to wanting to submit this project into Apple as a zip file, I stressed absolutely the hell out when it came to trying to shrink the sizes down and making the final last minute judgment call of just having to remove the entire machine learning model altogether at the end of the project, which in total it actually did work out well. There wasn't that many lines of code, and all I had to do was just comment, and then just change out little things that might have mentioned the object detecting model. And the second thing, and this is what I want to talk about as well, I don't know what it is about the Swift Playgrounds app, but it is so complicating. I don't know what it is about including things such as Core ML or core data, to say the least, especially when you do like persistent storage. So when I created my machine learning model, I just thought it was, you just put the model in from Create ML, take out the ML model file, put it right into the package, and then the class should automatically generate. But no, it does not work that way. Instead, it will actually show a warning that this sort of feature or whatever is not available in a Playgrounds application. However, to go to another project, create that model class in there, extract the code from that project, bring that file right over to the actual package itself, and then just have Swift handle it from there. And even with core data, because core data shows up as a possible file, or at least a model that you can add into your Playgrounds application. But once you get that file in there, not only can you really not name it, which was that was another annoyance of it. I'm gonna get to that. You cannot name the file yet. And once it comes to it, once again, it tells you that this resource is not available in that certain file type. But have no fear, it is possible to add it into a Playgrounds app or package. You just have to, once again, manually go through it of creating the stores and then putting in whatever entities or whatever in there. So hopefully, and I know I kind of got by this, and I put a comment right on top of that app storage wrapper, just in case if whoever is reviewing my file might see it, that I put this in a user defaults just for now as just regular JSON decoder, encoder, whatever. And the third thing is that when you're working on your Playground application, especially when you're using the Swift Playgrounds app in Xcode, source control exists, but it doesn't work the way that you think it would within a regular application. Now, what I mean by this is that when you're including certain frameworks that require sensitive usage descriptions that you would find on the regular info.p list, not only was I, one, confused and thinking that it wasn't possible, but number two, when you're fetching or you're pulling or committing these changes, because I've made changes between my M1 machine, my Mac Mini, to my MacBook Pro whenever I want to get into the bed, I have to literally retype. I don't know if anyone has found this, but I have to retype the entire usage description for camera, and then have to make sure that the actual app icon is, not selected on the placeholder. And this even came down to submission. Thankfully, Apple lets you withdraw your submission. So I had to make sure I put this in, because I found out that the actual usage description for the camera was gone. So thankfully I withdrew that, put the changes in, sent it back off, made sure everything was at least running before I did so, and I should be good. And like I said, that's super annoying because that little string piece of code, or like little string right there, is enough to really disqualify your entire application. It's enough to disqualify you from there. And Apple specifically says that you can get disqualified if your app does not work, if it breaks, or just has some sort of internal or fatal error. Like I said, the last thing, and this is like, I don't know if this is just a whole bug or whatever with Swift Playgrounds apps, is like I've just mentioned earlier, that the fact that you can't name files the certain way you would do within an Xcode project or a workspace. Now, you know how you press Command N to create a new file. Let's say you're making a Swift UI view. When you save that to whatever file or whatever folder is in that bundle, you have the option, or the ability to name that file. But apparently that's not an option within a Swift Playgrounds app. Instead, when you press Command N and you select what file you want, like I've mentioned earlier, it just automatically creates the file. It just says Swift UI view. And for the preview provider, since it's already created automatically with the Swift UI view, you get like as many like invalid redecoration errors and stuff within the package, or the Playground app, that you have to now rename that struct for the view, then rename that file name, and then rename the preview provider. Like, it's really annoying. Now that I'm just remembering it, and I'm gonna throw this in as number 5, this probably gonna be the last one, but the preview provider does not exactly work in such a way that it's like very, convenient. Now, compared to the preview provider that you would use within, like I said, a regular Xcode project for Swift UI, you get whatever you're at in that file, or whatever view you're trying to, you call. But instead, I don't know what it is. I've tried to change this around, but you get whatever, you get like the entire application there. So it's like you'll get like the first beginning. Let's say you have like a regular tab view, so you'll get like the view of the tab view when you might just want to debug or like preview the current view you're working on. That might be like a detail view, or like a sheet type of view. You know what I mean? Like it's those type of views. That's the real annoyance from there. And like I said, I tried to remove it, or I tried to whatever the little pin at the top does between the view names, or like the preview provider names are. None of that worked. I'm just really excited to get into this thing, and regardless of some of the issues or kind of the complications that I had with Xcode and Swift Playgrounds applications, I did learn a lot, at least. And I'll say the one thing I learned is just be patient. Patience really goes a long way, and I'm kind of happy that the learning curveball with Playgrounds app allowed me to see exactly how people set up their projects, because I've reference to some other places, such as like maybe some blogs, or how such things work, or how to set up your project. But some of the little things you just find on your own are just kind of a little annoying, and I just kind of hope Apple fixes this within the next iteration of Xcode that is coming out this what is that, June. It's June. Overall, yeah, I'm just really happy to be done with the project. I'm really excited for what I've created, and I want to try to make a video on here as well, because I know it's really traditional with this challenge to make a video what your playground, or your creativity app does. Of course, that video will have a a voiceover by me, recording by me, and everything else by me. So please stay on the look for that. And I just am really patiently waiting, and kind of nervous, but not afraid to get the final results from Apple. But thank you so much for watching. If you have done this sort of project, or you just did this year, drop in some sort of solutions, or like kind of remedies to these issues I just mentioned today. Of course, I just really think it was just kind of a curveball thing, and kind of some little annoyances, but I'm just happy that my final product got out and it worked, and hopefully, like I said, Apple will like it. Well, I'm done talking, but I do have one question. Can we still make apps for these things? I know what Swift whatever would work on here, but if I have to use Objective-C, that's fine. I just want to try to make like a iPhone 4S app within 2023 and see how it goes. All right, that's it. I'm out. Bye.